for the championship of the Miller Lite Chicago Open. Great crowd on hand. They are socked in here at North Avenue Beach. And we'd like to remind you that a 9-minute action clock is being used. Our first referee is Bobby Clark. And our second referee, is Verna Klubnikin. So Clark is up. Verna is down. And we're ready to go. Frohoff have a little something to prove in this match, Paul?
Absolutely. Brent Frohoff, very competitive, very fiery athlete, and he wanted to play with Karch Kirai. Karch chose Kent Steffes. Brent has struggled through this year, as you mentioned, with 5 or 6 different partners, and would love to have his first victory of this 91 season against Karch Kirai.
We'll identify the players as soon as we get an opportunity, and here we go. So the rainbow over the top, you're looking at John Hanley, 31 years old, grew up in Santa Barbara, went to the University of Hawaii. John Hanley, his partner Brent Frohoff. He's wearing a white shirt, maroon trunks at the net. Got a second this year with Mike Whitmarsh, but this week he's teamed up with Brent Frohoff. And Hanley, could he be a little tired, Paul?
Could be. Doesn't, as we've mentioned, have the opportunity to train the hours during the heat of the day. And even though it's cool here, and we've had some temperature decline today, yesterday just sapped everybody. And could be a little bit fatigued. This needs to be a short game on the scoreboard. Frohoff and Hanley need to serve maybe 5 aces in order to have a chance.
No score. And Kent Steffes serving. He's wearing the black tank top today. His partner Karch Kirai in the white tank top. And sizzling inside goes John Hanley. So Hanley records a kill.
John Hanley and Karch Kirai played high school volleyball together up in Santa Barbara, and going up against each other again. Karch hanging way out on the line, forcing Hanley to hit towards the defender Brent Frohoff with the jump serve. Out again. Couple of early service errors now.
Karch Kirai serving.
So Karch wearing his black hat and his white tank, his orange trunks, and his sunglasses. Whips the jumper. A nice one down the line for the pasty ace. Touched but barely covered as Karch gets the first point of this game. And
down the line, working hard cross court against John Hanley. Watch him hitting.
Oh, on 2. You can hit Karch very clearly. You can hit it if you want.
But not into the net, right. Do you dare? Easy play for Kent Steffes to make. Early in this game, opportunity to take a pretty good lead out at 2-0, but just rips this one into the middle of the net.
The 3-hour layoff for Kirai and Steffes. Could they be cold? Not into it?
Well, that's their problem. They could be, but I'm not so sure. Ace here by John Hanley. That's number 1. I say they need maybe 5 for this game to be close, because Kirai and Steffes can block the ball so well. Hanley and Frohoff are going to have to score from the service line.
Certainly the serving going to be a big factor for Hanley and Frohoff. We'll keep track of those aces for you. And
yeah, that's a good call by Bobby Clark.
Now wait a second. Bobby Clark is giving him a point. It appeared to catch the proverbial last strand of the line.
I think a good overrule on the line call. We're sitting way above the court, and I saw the rope move as the ball landed.
2-1 Hanley Frohoff. Big disadvantage for Kirai and Frohoff in this double elimination tournament, but it's only a 1-game final. Explain.
Well, you play the whole tournament under a double elimination or 2-loss format, and we get to this final, and John Hanley and Brent Frohoff, who lost to Karch Kirai, you see him here ripping cross court earlier in the tournament. So Hanley and Frohoff already have 1 loss. Kirai and Steffes have none. And yet they come in as if the playing field were even.
Is that fair?
No, it's not fair. If Kirai and Steffes lose this game, then each of these teams would have an even record with 1 loss apiece.
But Hanley and Frohoff would win the tournament.
Exactly, and I don't like it.
So great chance for the team in the losers bracket. We had someone write us a letter and say you shouldn't call it the losers bracket. Well, it's technically not the consolation bracket. They said call it the contenders bracket.
I like that.
Bracket. I like that too.
Losers has kind of a losing connotation, and Karch Kirai has done little of that during the course of his career.
I'd like to remind you that Killer Loop Sunglasses by Bausch & Lomb, the official sunglasses of the AVP, going to present once again $500 for the Killer Loop Kill Award. That will be given to the player with the most kills in the final game. 1 game to 15. And as usual, Basham will contribute $500 to that player. Kent Steffes told me he's won about 6 or 7 of those things so far, Paul. The Killer Loop Kill Awards. And he may be on to a big one again today. Another serve to Steffes. And Steffes bombs hard across court. Steffes last year was a young, cocky kid who was good. This year, he's a very confident, cocky kid who is great. You have to be able to back up what you say. As you can see, he has won with numerous different partners, which is always an indication that you're a good player. Heck, Sunderland or I could win with Karcher Stoklos, but when you can take other players to victory, that's when you're good. Steffes sizzling inside.
I could probably carry Karch to about a 9.
Well, interestingly, last week, Paul, as we take one more look, and there's a look at quick action, a little faster than the average bear there. Remember last week on the way home, Paul, Tim Hovland told us that he could get 3rd with anybody, and he could get 4th with you and me.
Well, what he actually said was he could get 3rd by himself.
That's right.
And he'd do worse with either you or I.
That's right. I can get 3rd by myself. If I play with you or Sunday, I can get 4th. That was a nice
Probably
compliment.
true.
Yeah. Look for Hovland to play with.
Well, I was going to say Mike Dodd until the injury to the hand, so I think he stays with Pat Bowers.
Dodd split the webbing on his spiking hand, so... Oh, double contact called by Bobby Clark.
That's a surprising call from Bobby Clark. Usually one of the more lenient referees when it comes to setting the ball.
It cannot rest in your hands. It cannot contact from right to left. That was a call. 3-2 is our score. 7 minutes and 50 seconds remaining. Kirai 6. Hanley and Frohoff have 4. And one of the most versatile performers on the tour, Marvin Hall, the dancing linesman, or dancing referee, or dancing umpire.
He can do it all.
Exciting the fans here in Chicago as we continue play in our final. Karch to put the ball in play. Kirai and Steffes, 3 straight points. Frohoff and Kirai trying to reach back to his right side, could not bring it up. So Brent Frohoff, who used to partner with Karch Kirai, finals for the 3rd time this year, 0-2. Both those, I believe, with Akatubby. One for sure with Akatubby, I believe both were. And John Hanley, who was in the finals with Mike Whitmarsh. And the serve going out of bounds. So Kent Steffes, he is the newest cover boy for Volleyball magazine. His big face right on the cover. Steffes with a dig. And Steffes pounds it down.
Nice swing. Brent Frohoff really in no man's land that time on a set 5 or 6 feet off the net, giving Kent Steffes lots of court to hit into.
7 minutes and 4 seconds.
7-4.
Make that 6 minutes and 17 seconds. Very confusing here with the scoreboard and the time clock. It's just out of bounds, side out.
Brent Frohoff back to serve from Hermosa Beach, California.
And a little tap shot by Karch over the top.
See some of the problems with changing partners week in, week out. Karch Kirai now with 7 kills, and the defense of Hanley and Frohoff just in disarray right now. It's a good thing to fake block, but you have to have prearranged sides and areas to cover once the blocker backs away.
Little spin serve. Frohoff against Steffes. And Kirai's going to gobble this one up. Steffes shovels it over on 2 and scores. Did Steffes touch that, or was that a smart play?
I was going to say he must have had a micro touch, because the play turns out just fine. The key is, did Kent Steffes touch the ball? Obviously he thought so. He shoots over because the touch on the block counts in the outdoor game on the beach, and right on the line.
8-4. Kirai and Steffes starting to turn on the screws as John Hanley pops it off Steffes. And Hanley and Frohoff trying to get themselves excited and into it.
Well, they're excited and they're into it. They're just not executing. They've been siding out okay, but other than the 2 aces early, they've been pretty well stopped. They've been outscored 7-2. Going to feel pretty confident. Hanley and Frohoff, not a big team by comparison out here on the beach with the likes of Randy Stoklos, Mike Whitmarsh, Brent Frohoff at 6'3", not that big a blocker.
8th kill for Kirai. Steffes looking like he's having a little trouble with his toss. Nice shot. Frohoff with the good call over him.
Frohoff coming back to serve.
Pretty good set by Brent Frohoff with the great deep dish and then the good communication to the open area of the court for John Hanley. Frohoff needs an ace, Chris.
Or a king. Trailing by 4. Ooh, just missed by about 4 or 5 inches in the back court. And so Frohoff, his second service error, and Kirai will serve. Keeping it in, the lollipop on the good side. Steffes still going. Oh, it's out. A little pinball defense there for a moment.
And John Hanley, almost the pinball wizard, but just hitting the ball out of bounds by a fraction. They need a timeout here. I think they should take one right here down. Was that a side out? This should be 9.
Should have been a point. It's 9-4.
Yeah, it should be 9-4.
Got
there
two,
we go.
2 conflicting scoreboards here. One says 8-4, one says 9-4. So one of those guys.
I think it's 9-4.
I do too. Moving very quickly now. Hanley blocked by Steffes. So the Wonder Kid, his 3rd stop.
Timeout. Frohoff.
Kent Steffes blocking and playing with so much confidence out here, swooping, closing off the line against John Hanley on the left for the stuff, proceeding to a timeout.
Hanley and Frohoff are now in some severe trouble. The clock may not come into play. 5 minutes and 34 seconds remaining as Steffes and Kirai lead Hanley Frohoff 10-4. Give me the teams for next week, Paul, as you see them.
Frohoff, Akitabi.
Okay.
Kirai, Steffes. Smith, Stoklos. Dodd, a question mark. Ricky Ludes, where does he go? We're not particularly sure.
You think Ludes will be out of a partner with Dodd?
It depends. I'll give Mike Dodd a call tomorrow and find out about his hand, but I'm sure he had to take some stitches. What happens with Hovland and Powers? I think because of the injury, they stay together. I liked Mike Whitmarsh and Adam Johnson. I think that's a team that's going to be very, very good.
I talked to Whitmarsh. He is definitely playing with Johnson.
Yeah, I would too. I think Adam Johnson is a great talent, very good charisma. They both jump serve well and seem to get along well. I like them.
8 straight points for Kirai and Steffes. Looking for 9 and a side change. Hanley. Oh, Karch has it. And Karch smartly keeps it in play. Frohoff. Off Steffes. And he glares at Steffes. Fro says, yes, I got it. So now Frohoff and Hanley need to get a point.
I'll tell you, Karch is hungrier for the ball. He'll do anything to get the ball up because he knows just get the ball in play and you always have a chance to score and stop the other team.
Into the net. I'll never forget the great play in the Pan American Games 1987 when Karch dove for a ball like that, knocked it into the first row of seats. Timmons dove over the wall, head first into the chairs, poked it back out on the court. The Americans knocked it over. They lost the rally, but they ended up coming back and beating Cuba. And what a fantastic finish that was.
Wasn't it 15-13 in 5 games over Cuba? And it was that kind of effort that won a couple gold medals.
Double contact for Karch. Now, Karch does have some problems setting when he's on the right side. Now, interesting that Karch used to be a setter in college, and he set most of the balls from the right side, but he's used to playing on the left and setting.
Just your body mechanics are different. One hand is a little more dominant over the other in terms of pushing the ball towards the net.
Karch has got a little whirly bird on the right side, doesn't he?
Yeah, that one was pretty ugly.
Chance for Frohoff and Hanley to get back here. Not yet. Karch gets another kill, and he's in the running. He has 9 kills. He leads Hanley by a couple.
Big challenge for John Hanley to try to block here. He's just not that big, but Hanley gets over the net pretty well, and he knows, very smart and experienced player, to press into the cross court.
Karch in the lead for the Killer Loop Award. Hanley poking off Steffes.
Right now, with this kind of lead, Kirai will be a little bit more static in his defense. He'll chase if he gets a good break, but with Kent blocking, he's going to stay on the line.
Just waiting.
Just waiting.
Okay.
Just waiting because of the consistency and confidence they have in the side-out game.
There's a good serve. Karch, dish it up with the hands perfectly. Oh, and Steffes. Sunday day fever from Kent Steffes as he zips one by.
Not a great pass, but Karch Kirai going to his knees to dish this ball way up there, and then Kent Steffes rips inside cross court. I want to take that shot away from him when the ball's coming over his head. Tough high set. Oh, no movement on the ace down the line. Big lead now for Kirai and Steffes, 11-4.
5 minutes and 3 seconds to go. We're coming back to Chicago. Stay with us. Hanley and Frohoff will have it. Fro has taken off his shirt. He means business.
Well, what he means now, or needs, as I said from the very beginning, is aces.
Yep.
Got two early, John Hanley did, and they've been very quiet since then.
Nice serve. Pretty good scoop set by Karch. The kill by Karch, the scoop by Steffes.
Yeah, the key was the set, Chris. Off the bad pass, Kent Steffes with the very nice bump set near the net. That was the key.
KK set to put the ball in play. 4 minutes and 39 seconds to go, but it's not going to last that long, it doesn't appear. Kirai. And there's some heat down the line. John Hanley delivering.
Hanley now with 10 kills has one of the best arm swings out on the beach. And when I'm talking about arm swing, just your ability to whip on the ball fast. And Adam Johnson is very good. Of course, Smith and Stoklos, Kirai, Steffes, all the top players, along with Frohoff, very, very important, but his particularly quick.
He's won over $300,000 in prize money. Hanley and Frohoff have just not been able to dial up the serves when they need it.
Well, you remember they got the break early, just catching the last strand of the rope. Bobby Clark overruling run of the linesman, but they've been very close, but still out since then with their jump serving.
If you were Kirai and Steffes and you're looking at Hanley and Frohoff, who do you serve?
I serve Hanley.
You do?
Yes.
Why?
Because he doesn't train as much and might be tired at this point in time. And when he plays with Frohoff, I think he blocks more. And I would just try to keep the pressure
wearing
on
him out.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Particularly after yesterday. You remarked about his tan and or lack thereof. And it was 100 degrees yesterday. I'm sure he was tired when he got to the beach this morning.
12-4, a lead of 8.
Go! Okay. There it is.
And nicely done. A radical cut shot by Steffes, scoring the side out.
Disdaining the call by Karch Kirai. You talked to me about who to serve. Obviously, Kirai and Steffes agree with me. They've served John Hanley 22 times as opposed to Brent Frohoff's only 5.
Karch is in the angle. That's got to be a double contact, doesn't it? Holy mackerel. Boy, you can't let that go, can you? That was a horrible throw.
That was a gorilla scoop.
Yeah.
I mean, that was ugly.
A mismangled ball for sure.
I'll tell you, Bobby Clark called a couple of throws earlier, and this one was one of the worst of the summer and didn't get called.
Sometimes they slip by.
That
wasn't the worst throw I've ever seen, but it wasn't third or fourth either.
I'll tell you, that's like Santa coming down the chimney, you know. There's no subtlety to it.
12-4, the lead remains 8 for Kirai and Steffes. Trying to establish themselves now, maybe as the team to beat. Not that time.
No problem missing a serve up 12-4, and again siding out so consistently.
Do you think the one big key for Kirai and Steffes has been the adjustment in the setting of Kirai?
I think he's setting Kent extremely well. Good altitude, good location, and also, as opposed to last year when they played together and then split up, Kent Steffes a different player in 1991. Much better.
Oh! Well, that was even worse than the one they didn't call. Holy mackerel. You know, when I was young, when a player would do that, they'd say, how could you eat with those hands, Chris?
How could you take them out in public? Put those things back in your pocket. Ooh, the only thing worse is to have it go through your hands and hit you in the face.
That'll tone Kent down a little this week when we remind him of that particular play. They'll go to Karch.
And, of course, we will remind him.
Well, in defense of Karch, it is still kind of muggy out, and it's a little wet on the sand, and the ball could have gotten slick. Or it could have just been an ugly throw. 12-5 with 4 minutes and 5 seconds remaining as Karch goes to serve.
Come on.
Off Karch, chasing Steffes. Boy, he's fast. He worked with UCLA sprint coach John Smith on his speed and his quickness.
And you get faster when you get stronger. This kind of foot speed comes from training all winter long in the weight room, and going into the stands is just a function of commitment to go after the ball.
John Smith, the UCLA track coach, told me when he was training Kent, and it bears repeating, that laying on the ground and jumping up and running for 10 yards, Kent is one of the fastest athletes he's ever coached. Laying on the ground, you blow the whistle, he runs for 10 yards.
Well, that's a
Reaction
big
time and
statement
quickness.
considering some of the athletes that have gone through UCLA.
Say
Say Kent Steffes prefers to go cross court. Absolutely. Make him hit this shot. He does well down the line for the side out.
Frohoff and Hanley pretty steady right now. And right back over at you as Frohoff blows it out of bounds.
One of the first serves coming to Brent Frohoff in quite a while. Again, John Hanley has received 24 serves. Brent Frohoff only 6.
12-5. A 7-point lead for Kirai and Steffes. The Kill Loop Kill Award still up for grabs. Hanley holding a 1-kill lead. A kill is just a successful spike in volleyball if you're a newcomer. Lots of kills is good in volleyball. And Steffes dishes out a nectar set, a sweet set.
Hanley and Frohoff just unable to block a ball. They're shut out in that category right now, as opposed to 4 stuffs, 3 for Steffes, 1 for Kirai.
There it is right there.
Absolutely. That's the game right there. Side out block.
And the fake block. Kirai's right there. Let's see if he can convert on the right side. No, Fro has it.
Kent's pretty good on the left.
Isn't he? As he bounces it into the crowd.
Say, it's one thing to only be able to hit from the right side or the left, but when you're a good transition player, you need to be able to put the ball away after a chase or a dig from either side. And Kent Steffes, predominantly on the right side, excellent on the left as well.
Timeout on the sand. We're coming back to Chicago, 3-minute time permitting. We know you like to see where everybody finished in the tournament, but Kirai and Steffes are going so fast that we may not have time. Kirai hits it right on the line.
After Karch, Kirai hits the line in transition. There you see the rest of the places. Clark and Wirtz, Andrew Smith, Brooke Vandewey, Larry Meir, Wes Welch, Doug Faust, and Jeff Rogers, Eller, Lewis, Dvorak, Plutarch, Chavez, Young, Southcott, Stafford down 13 through 17.
It is championship point. The Miller Lite Chicago Open coming to a close. Very quickly, not on that play, however, as Karch was dug in with cement feet on the right side.
Karch just going to hang in the middle of the court, get a good early break. They've got a huge lead. Clock not a good early break. They've got a huge lead. Clock not a factor. Just keep siding out, and by siding out, you just successfully put the ball down in the opposition's court. You get possession, the right to serve.
And Hanley misses. So second championship point coming up. As PCH's Kent Steffes will whack away. Working on Hanley. And Steffes has the dig. This could be it. And it is. Kirai and Steffes again.
4th in a row. Hanley and Frohoff